I guess I'm just curious, like, so why try to expose him? Like, because it seemed like you were trying to paint him, like, I don't know, as a hypocrite or a deadbeat or not a Christian man because he wanted an abortion. But it seems very clear that, at least from kind of the conversation we've had and from some of the stuff that's, been talked about on the internet, like, it seems like you had no intention of actually keeping the baby. Is that fair to say? I
had intention when I called him.
Okay.
And even though when things happened, I still wasn't sure. I was going back and forth, thinking what to do.
You were on the fence.
Only I think actually I went to the parenthood twice. First time when I tried to get rid of it, I didn't. I left. Right. I was crying. I didn't. Okay. And I did it. I went back the second time.
But so,
can I ask just briefly?
Yeah.
I was just curious if I could get some clarification. Have you ever taken Plan B or any contraception of any kind before?
No, we don't have this thing. We have an emergency pill. If someone
in China?
Yeah. But we don't have birth control like that. We have.
Yeah. Have you ever taken that emergency pill before?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, before all this.
Not with Walter, yeah, but if.
No, I know, but in China, you've taken it before.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, how does that one work? You have to wait till you're pregnant and then you take it.
Or you take it the morning after.
I can take within 48 hours.
Wait, so Andrew, I think when it comes to the plan with the Plan B pill, it's possible that you can take that pill prior to conception.
Sure. That's why I'm asking about this specific pill she's talking about. I'm just wondering,
right?
Do you have to conceive, or how does that pill in China, the emergency pill, work?
So after the intimacy, you can take it within 72 hours. That's the maximum time.
Okay, and you have taken those pills before, right?
I had, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so when you were trying to, because it seems your goal is to expose him. Expose him for being a pro-choicer, being a deadbeat, is that?
Yes.
But so why try to expose him for that when, you opted to get the abortion, so why expose him for essentially...
When I did it was just very emotional, I was just very, very mad at that time, and I didn't want to get an abortion at that time when I exposed it. I only decided later because things get really worse, and he never showed up after that. It's he gave me no choice.
Well, hold on. Plenty of women who are pregnant, but even if the dad's totally out of the picture.
Yeah.
And
in this country, but not in my country. It's not something very uncommon. Men take accountability in China. If they impregnate a woman, they will take responsibility. It's something that's abnormal for me.
But he's an American, right? Or
that's why I didn't
Barbados
I didn't know. I only got here last year on.
Well, you were planning to stay here, right?
Well, now wait, now hang on, wait a second. I'm confused. Maybe you can clarify this for me. If you have taken this pill before in China, but you say that the culture in China is that they always take accountability, why take the pill?
Because sometimes you have casual sex and things could happen.
Okay, so this, so when you were having casual sex in China, so when you would have casual sex in China from time to time, you would take this pill to prevent yourself from conceiving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to get clarification on this. Go ahead, Brian, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, it just seems the efforts to expose him and ruin his reputation for precisely the same behavior and conduct that you ultimately did. You wanted to expose him. Here's this Christian man who tried to get me to get an abortion. Here's this guy who seems like he's going to be a deadbeat. Mm-hmm. But you got an abortion, so I'm just why expose him for conduct that you're basically his conduct is your conduct?
I told you when I exposed him, I didn't want to do the abortion.
I think what he's trying to say is he's trying to, you kind of enabled him to do that to you because there was all these signs, he's not a good dad. If you watch Fresh and Fit, not boyfriend, not husband.
I don't
not
watch
husband
for Fresh
material.
and Fit, and
What?
It just comes like you basically just got like
Like, why expose him if you agreed to his terms?
I don't agree his term.
But
No,
you
but why-
did it. But you went through with the abortion. That's what we're saying. That's what he
Yeah.
wanted you to do, and you went through with it. So you kind of did agree to his terms.
because you didn't have to have the abortion, you know. You
Yeah, but people.
Well, but hang on. In her defense, though, right? This
not
he
trying to
deserved to be. Hang on. In your defense, he deserved to be punished for this. You know, I mean, he deserved it, right?
Yes, then what's the point? Like, what
Yeah.
the question about here? Like, if you think I did wrong by leaking his message, fine, I accept it. But if you say he didn't do anything wrong, I don't agree with it. Like, I don't see what's the argument here? Like,
I'm
what are
not.
you
Well,
trying-
I'm not saying.
you guys
I'm not.
trying
I'm
to-
not making any accusations at all. I'm just saying, in your defense, if something like that happened to me, and I felt like I was fooled in some way, or I felt kind of like I had been made a fool of, I would be super upset, and I would want to get some revenge on a person. You know what I mean? Like, if that happened to me, that's how I would feel. I would literally feel like I needed to get some kind of revenge on them for making me feel like I was a fool.
Oh, you
Does that
would?
make sense?
You would?
What's that?
I said you would.
Yeah, I mean, don't you? Don't you feel like that too?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I guess that's my perspective too, right?
Okay, I understand what you mean right now.
So,
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll turn it back over to
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
So I mean, it seems like in this situation though, you said that he forced you to get the abortion, but I'll know, at least here in the United States. Nick, could you close that? So here in the United States, I mean, Walter and men in general have really zero reproductive rights at all. So as a woman, if you want to abort the child, you can. If you want to keep it, you can. There's nothing a man can do in either scenario to either force you to keep it or force you to get an abortion. Now, it could certainly be the case that the man in a scenario where a woman's pregnant could be a terrible father. I'm not making that accusation towards Fresh, but just to make an argument. Just because a man's would be a deadbeat, or he's causing you stress, that would not be him forcing you to get an abortion.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Coercion for abortion is actually illegal in all 50 states. There is
What-
laws against this.
Well, when you say coercion, what do you mean precisely?
That means intimidating somebody, threatening them online, embarrassing them. You could look all of this up online.
Okay, let me look it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I did.
Coercion,
to respond to
abortion.
this, I actually would agree that coercion to make somebody do anything, regardless of what it is, would be a crime in all 50 states, not just abortion, right?
Like, if you're a man and you're going to knock someone up, the best bet is to just not tell them to abort it and let them make the decision for themselves instead of telling them, oh, I can't afford it, or, oh,
Yeah,
if you
sure,
don't do this.
but to my point, if you don't mind responding to my point, coercion for anything would be illegal in all 50 states, correct?
Yeah.
So it's not specific to abortion. It's specific to anything which you utilize coercion, which is why coercion is such a specific term. Usually coercion has some type of implicit threat of violence or something like this. I mean, surely neither of you ever felt like you were physically threatened by Walter, right? Like, you certainly didn't
by
feel
his
threatened.
partner. Yes.
You felt physically threatened by Walter?
Yeah, not Walter, but I believe
no, not Walter.
I believe Myron represents Walter because he was silent, and Myron was saying that he wished he's a woman so he can punch me in the face, he can beat me up, and all that. Like on public he said that many
but you
times.
just said, hang on, but you just said that you didn't feel any type of coercion from Walter. Like, you didn't feel physically threatened from him. Neither of you felt physically threatened from Walter. I mean, I heard the call, and Walter said in the call, he said, well, what are you going to do about it? And he said, nothing. He said, nothing. I'm not going to do anything about it. That doesn't sound like a threat.
Is he a part of Fresh and Fit?
Well, sure. But if I
Okay.
was
That makes- that
if,
then
let's
I just
assume for
answer
a
you.
second that me and Brian were partners on whatever. We're not, but assume that we were. if Brian said bad things about you and I didn't say bad things about you, how would that be me coercing you? I don't understand. That wouldn't be me doing anything to you. So I'm just saying, if you didn't feel actually physically threatened in any way by Walter or either of you,
his company, who represent him, did.
I'm sorry, say that again. I just want to make sure I heard it correctly.
His company.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, his company. But did his company ever physically threaten you, or?
Fresh and Fit represents Walter Weeks.
Well, no, wouldn't Walter represent Fresh and Fit?
And his lawyer told him to not say anything.
Shout out James Sexton.
Yeah, and then so he couldn't say anything, so he decided to let Myron to do everything. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, you would have to hold Myron responsible for that, right? But Walter himself, did either of you actually, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. Did either of you ever actually feel threatened in any way, shape, or form physically from Walter?
No.
I didn't
No.
know.
No.
No, but neither of you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I pulled this up. So I mean, at least the initial definition here from Oxford Dictionary. I just typed this into Google. Coercion, the practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. So is it your guys' position that he coerced either of you in any way?
They have a site, CAFA, the Center of Abortion something, but there's specific laws on abortion coercion.
Okay.
Yes, they do have specific laws on that.
Okay. There's laws?
Yes.
What
You can't
can I
coerce-
Google them?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would it be called? What should I
It's
Google?
like the Center, CAFA, something like that.
CFA Institute?
Just look up abortion coercion and the link should pop up.
Okay. So it's a criminal law? Abortion, coercion.
I'm not too sure about the details
So,
on it.
And coercion has to involve like a threat, or
If
it
you-
could just, like, for example, would me like pressuring you to get an abortion, would that be coercion?
Yes, that's coercion.
Like if I was like, babe, I'm not ready for a child, please get an abortion, would that be coercion?
I mean,
No.
I don't know specifically, but
No, in your view of whatever the term coercion is, if we were dating, I got you pregnant, I didn't want to have the kid, and I was like, babe, I'm not ready to have the kid, can't have the kid, don't want the kid, please, please, please get an abortion, is that coercion?
I would consider that coercion.
Really?
Yeah.
What about if a guy begged for sex that way? Would that be coercion?
I mean, that's a really weird thing to compare that to, but
Well, I
Some guys are
don't
thirsty
know.
like
I mean,
that, you know?
I heard that. I heard tales from women like that when I was in high school, and then college age women all the time. Is that coercion from your worldview? If they just beg you to do something a bunch?
I guess that would depend on who you ask. Me personally.
But I'm asking
no.
you, yeah.
I mean, no. I would still say no.
Hold on, well,
No. Okay.
let me even use a different example. If, let's say I just asked you, I just said, hey, listen, I'm not ready to have a kid. Would you consider getting an abortion? Is that coercion?
If it's a question, no. But if you're saying, I can't have a kid, I'm broke, I don't have money for it, I don't want a kid, that's coercion. You can't get someone pregnant and then tell them to abort it just because you don't want the kid. That's totally up to the woman, and the man has no say.
Sure, but I mean, so I think even in the prior example, I asked for it. So you're saying if it's a statement instead of a question,
Yeah.
then it would be coercion.
Yes.
What if the statement is, for example, I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head, but hey, babe, I'm not ready. I love you, but I'm not ready yet to have a kid. Maybe down the road we can do that. I'm not ready to have a kid. I'd like for you to get an abortion. Is that coercion?
I mean, not in that sense, because
Well, it's not a question. I'm stating I'd like for you to get an abortion. Is that coercion?
If you're saying I would like for you to, instead of I'm telling you to, then no, that's not coercion.
It's not clear to me, though, even if a man were to say, I'm telling you to get an abortion. First off, he would have no legal right to actually force you to get it. But even if he were to say it,
There's a reason that they have laws on this. I mean, if you have the link, let's look at it.
So if a man were to say, I'm telling you to get an abortion, but he has no intention of otherwise being mean to you or threatening you in any way. He's not threatening you. He's just saying, I'm telling you to get an abortion. I'm telling you, babe, you have to get an abortion. I can't do this. Is that coercion?
I think so, yes.
But do you think it's fair if he's saying that, like, to the woman, and then she still keeps the baby and has it?
Yeah, she should be able to do whatever she wants with it.
I'm not an expert in the definition of coercion.
That's why
it's not clear to me if that would be coercion to just be like,
well,
any of the scenarios I get.
I wonder
let's look at it.
if I can ask just a very brief question.
Yeah.
To you, I'm sorry, I do take notes as we're going, and I usually get all the gal's name, but I had an ear issue, and I wasn't actually able to hear your name. It was the gal wearing the crucifix next to the blonde gal with the crucifix over on the right side of the table from my perspective. What did you say your name was?
No. Was talking about me, Noelle.
Noelle. Okay. Yeah, Noelle. You're a Christian, correct?
Yeah. I was raised Mormon, but I'm just Christian.
Okay. From your worldview, is abortion murder?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So by that logic, then is the gal sitting next to you a murderer?
I honestly, I don't want to share my opinion on that because it really doesn't matter to me.
Well, if abortion is murder,
yeah, baby, don't worry, you can say that, but there is
the gal sitting next to you a murderer?
And there is a reason why, right? And we
I just would like her answer, if you don't mind. If you believe abortion is murder, is the gal sitting next to you a murderer?
I think she murdered a fetus. That's what I think. But
and that fetus is a fetus equivalent to a baby to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So then she murdered a baby.
Yeah, but that's her decision, and I'm not going to judge her for it, and I'm not going to judge
her.
No,
I understand. I usually don't judge people who murder babies either.
I mean, I'm not going to really respond to that.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'll turn it back over to Brian, but I did want to get that clarified because I just want to make sure that I get the worldviews down and that you are assisting right this second with a person who you believe murders babies. I just want to make sure I got that clear.
Well, I think everyone's missing the entire principle of the whole thing, and that's fresh. And
they know.
Lied and deceived. Okay, and he's also a massive hypocrite. They use their platform to urge men to step up as fathers or to be high-value men, and then they go and do the exact opposite.
Is it hypocritical to support murderers when you're against abortion? Is it hypocritical for you to do that as you point out other people's hypocrisy?
Well, God tells us to love thy neighbor, so.
Then you should love fresh, right?
I never said I hated him. I'm just calling him out for bad behavior.
Well, but why? It's interesting to me that you would assist the woman next to you, who has the same bad behavior that you were accusing Fresh of, as you accuse Fresh of being a hypocrite. Would that not also make you a hypocrite? As you call him a murderer.
No, it wasn't.
Would you not have to call the person next to you a murderer as well? Hang on, let her answer. Let her answer.
I have a neutral stance on this. I don't think Daisy's in the right. I don't think Fresh is in the right. But I have my own side that happened with Fresh, and that's all I care about. Their details, that's their business. She can speak on what she wants to speak on, but I'm not going to speak on her situation. I'll only speak on mine.
Okay, got it. I just wanted to make sure I had that clear.
I have a few more notes here. I will, just to the rest of the panel, I'll open it up to you guys here soon. We just have a lot of notes here with Daisy. So at least for Daisy, just to conclude, I don't know if I'm old school, but in my book, you never leak anything to do with family, friends, or somebody you're dating. I think that's always private. Even if a relationship or somebody you're dating, maybe it doesn't even end the best. I don't think you put them on blast publicly. I think that's my primary gripe here. And it is dating related because, I mean, should you go public? Should you leak stuff? I do think, Daisy, I do think you escalated things here. I've been following this thing. I'm not saying Fresh is perfect, okay? But I do think this was an unnecessary escalation. I do think you're in the wrong in multiple ways here. And in life, people are going to mess up. Again, I'm not saying Walter, what he did was perfect. I don't know all the details. I don't necessarily think it means you have to go public, though. And I think it made the whole situation bad for you, made it bad for them. And I do, I don't know all the details of your guys' private relationship. I do think, though, that leaking the private calls, recording it, all premeditated, in my view, I think what you did is worse than what he did.
Okay. Can I say something?
I have one question for you first, though.
Can I say something?
Will you buy me a $30,000 purse? That's my final question to you, Daisy.
Would I buy you?
Yes. I got to be wines and dines.
If I love you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay, well, go ahead with your point, sorry.
My point is, if I didn't leak the message, he would have never taken any punishment from this situation, and I would be the only one who gets punished. So
punished? What do you mean, like?
Punished by making me into this situation, that I would be the only one that's suffering from the whole process, like getting pregnant, be a single mother, without the father,
Well, you would have opted for the abortion even if you hadn't gone public, right?
Sorry?
Like you would have, even if let's say you didn't go public, you kept everything private. I mean, you would have still gone the abortion. You would have kept it.
I just didn't know my decision.
You weren't sure.
But when I called him, I was sure I wanted the baby. When I just find out I'm pregnant, I was really surprised and I was really happy. So my point is, if I die, he died with me.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, if leaking the message it's going to make my situation bad, okay, then let it be. Because then he needs to get his punishment anyway. That's how I felt.
But okay, so I'm still a little confused, So he broke up with you.
Yeah.
You're upset by that. But it doesn't sound like, you're not...
You can say it's fine. I'm not perfect. I never said that.
No, but I mean, like, you don't take issue with him breaking up with you, correct?
Yes.
Like, that's not the issue, really.
It's not the issue why I leaked the message. That wouldn't be. I would never leak the message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, I don't know. I'm old school.
That's okay. I mean, that's okay. A lot of people don't understand why I did that. Like, I'm also like, it is what it is. I did it already, and I'm taking the punishment, and I'm getting harassment. I lost.
What is it like? But when there's a quote or a saying, it goes something like, "If you seek revenge, dig 2 graves."
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, I guess you kind of got revenge on him. Although, actually, I have a thought on this. It seems like a lot of negative attention came your way too. I mean, you probably got nasty messages. Yeah. Probably, I assume it's been super stressful, more stressful than it would have been had you not leaked it. But I actually think the other thing is...
And hang on.
Wait.
Just to cut in, almost done. Noelle, finish this for me. Revenge is mine, so saith.
Honestly, I can't. I
Can
don't
you finish that for me?
I don't memorize every single verse. I'm not perfect.
So...
Vengeance is mine, so saith the Lord.
I couldn't,
right?
Yeah.
All right.
But so if your mission was to get revenge on him, now that it's clear, like, perhaps if you had continued with the pregnancy, that would have been a stronger position. But
no, that's not.
Well,
that's just entertaining people by.
But you actually realize that this whole thing was probably the most viral, that like they've got so much attention from this that it's actually probably to some degree actually been very beneficial for their business. People have been, tuning in, continuing to tune in. Did you get a lot of
attention when it was going on?
Yeah.
But did you benefit from the attention at all?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I mean, look.
Everybody else did.
At least for me, I'll know how they view it. I actually, me personally, even if getting negative, like being involved in some drama gets me more viewers, I actually dislike that. Like, I'd rather not get negative attention. And if that means I don't get as many viewers from it, I'm fine, because I personally don't like beefs and like drama and stuff.
Me either.
But so I don't know for them
peace.
if they feel the same. I don't know for them though if they feel the same way with negative attention. Some people like negative attention because it comes with, there will be people who, oh, I've never heard of this podcast. Okay, I'm going to go subscribe, and now they've got new fans. This has definitely like been a huge windfall for them in terms of audience, attention, etc. So you've almost done them this sort of like perhaps accidental
But that's
additional
okay.
benefit.
They're not going to be successful. You know why? Because they're only going to be attract people that's who's similar behavior as them.
But like you
And
almost
those,
gave like
those
you've
people are
given
not
them-
going to be successful because.
Well, I think they're doing pretty well, aren't they? I don't know all the details, but you get. But like, okay, if their goal is like, we want as much attention on our podcast as possible, because the whole narrative of like, hey, Fresh, he's this, that whole narrative is gone now that you got the abortion. Like the whole thing of like it being an own, like he's going to be on the hook for child support. You're going to like take him to task, and the family court system, that's gone. You got the abortion. So they got all that attention. So I mean, just from the argument of like you're trying to take them down, get revenge, this has brought so much attention to them. While a lot of it negative, it's also been beneficial in the sense of you just boosted their viewer count way up there.
How did I know? I didn't know that.
I mean, all this shit went